I'm Rosa Mendez, and I'm here at the #1 Long Island broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh. I had the best time ever!
Hey, listen, Daddy, you're listening to the #1 broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh, Daddy, in Long Island. The best pro wrestling broadcast of all time, I think.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, it feels good to be back on YouTube. It was quite disappointing what happened to us, but we bounced back fairly quickly.
Well, what else would we do? We're almost at 5,000 subscribers.
Well, speaking of that, man, we need more members.
Okay.
What do you think we need to do to get the people of those 5,000 subscribers to come on and join the team as a Monty and a Pharaoh member?
Nudity is out of the question. Any other ideas?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do have a few ideas.
Well, just like Prel, they should tell 2 friends, and they could tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Check out all our content.
But that's, you know what? That's why you're the star of the show, because guess what? Members get special content. Even we spoke about it. Pharaoh came to me one day and he goes, man, what's the deal? I can't even watch some of these videos because I'm not a member. And I said, there you go, Pharaoh. You got to be a member because this is what the members get. They get free content
Nice.
that none of the other fans that watch this show get.
That's right.
You get free autographs from some of these wonderful stars that come in, right?
Nice.
All you do is you go to the MNP webpage, or right, our own page, and shoot us an email and say, hey, man, I want a picture of Tommy Rich. I want a picture of whatever. And boy, that's on its way.
We give them their choice.
That's right.
We rock.
We do rock.
And you need to rock, too. Join.
On baseball, no.
That's fair enough. I mean,
that I always find
that's
very
interesting.
odd.
Why?
Right?
It's just like, fuck it. It's over with. It's done. I
it's a
can't look at
pastime.
it.
Jimmy's
not even a
out of
sport.
total focus here, so I'm going to try to ask the question. Why does someone who performed in this wrestling,
Shut
or
it
even
off?
you hear baseball players and football players say the same thing?
Yeah.
When you get out of it, how do you just not watch it anymore? Is it because you didn't love it, or what makes you not want to even look at it anymore?
I grew up watching it as a kid and loving it as a kid, and then I started wrestling at 18 and then kind of made a career out of it, so it just doesn't have that same... I watch sometimes, especially if I know the person, or I'll watch old stuff. So, I mean, I do enjoy watching it, but...
And I'll do that. Tell me if y'all
and I
felt
can't
this.
watch 8 hours, 9 hours, however many hours of programming we got.
It is too much again. Now they got with
3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of
and Next
SmackDown,
and all
2
that
hours
shit.
of NXT. How many AEWs? That's like 9 hours.
You know, that's what happened in the mid-'80s. There was so much wrestling a week. You know, the house shows were like, what for? We can turn and watch 20 different companies, during the week. And it kind of fell out. But then those companies wasn't making any money, so they started dropping off, and we started coming back when you had Raw and Nitro, back to 2, fighting each other, which was, of course, great. But going back to that question, tell me if y'all ever felt this way, though. I felt this, when you're getting out of it. I wasn't ready to get out. I was just out of it. That made a difference, too. If you're ready to get out, it's a lot easier to handle.
Yeah.
When you're not, I couldn't watch it because it's like watching you seeing everybody else do the love that you got for it.
You're watching an ex-girlfriend that you're still in love
with
with.
somebody else. You're
Yeah.
watching your girlfriend, your wife with somebody else.
Yeah.
They're doing it now,
Makes
and you're
you angry.
sitting watching it. That's the way it felt. It's like I can't watch. It just hurts.
Val, how did it feel for you?
For me, by the time I got into 2005, 2006, I started developing other goals in my head. I knew I was, I didn't want to wrestle forever just because it is hard on the body, you know what I mean? And I had elbow injuries, knee injuries. They were adding up over time. About 2005, 2006, traveling. I still love performing even to this day. It's the traveling I could do without, and that really wore on me for a while. So from 2005 all the way up to 2009, I felt like it was more of a job than it ever was before. Before, it was just a lot of fun, and I was having a hell of a time. You know what I mean? It was great. But I started to develop other goals, like I wanted to get into the cannabis industry when I finished up with wrestling.
That was a good transition too.
Yeah, so I was setting those goals to, find a way to get somehow into the cannabis industry and start learning that industry from the ground up. And then, of course, journalism, private sector journalism.
And
it's
anarchy.
something that's huge in my mind and in my heart and my soul. And I think journalism is probably one of the most important jobs in maintaining a free country, a true free press. And I wanted to become part of that free press. So that's what I'm attempting to do now.
Why so nobody could read you?
So nobody can read it. It's one of those things I'm doing that now with my Top Shelf Anarchy site on YouTube. And it's I think it's stirring waves. I'm challenging things that we are grown up to consider as normal. And I'm developing a passion for these things. I developed a passion for freedom and liberty, decades ago when I was 18 years old. And that's just been constantly, month after month, year after year, becoming a more and more of a passion for me. So by the time I finished up wrestling in 2009 full time, I was ready to go. You know what I mean? I was ready to find a way to get into cannabis industry and find a way to set roots as a private sector journalist. And so that's what I'm working on now.
Well done. All right, final question. I'm going to ask both of you guys. Nick, what did Marty Jannetty mean to you?
Trouble.
No, absolutely. Like, I enjoyed tag team wrestling. I like the British Bulldogs, but as they kind of phased off TV, the Rockers were the next babyface team that did cool shit and had matching gear, and I always thought that was something special. I had the poster, the AWA poster that was in the PWI magazine. I had that one up on my wall. I mean, these were guys that I watched. I enjoyed because I like the athleticism, but then, I like some of the things that the bad guys did too, and he was all around good performer.
How much younger than me are you?
I'm 47.
Damn, 40 years.
Not that many.
Val,
I stayed 38
what did
for
Marty,
years.
what did Marty Jannetty mean to you?
Well, I think that it was the whole high flying aspect of the tag team, right? It was, to me, the tag team division, especially back at that time, was far more entertaining than even the main event division at that time. And Sean and Marty were killing it back then.
If I can interrupt, the Road Warriors revolutionized the tag team business
Right.
in one way.
Yes, stop and
They
kick.
revolutionized it in a different way.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Like when we came in, it was the land of the giants by
Yes.
then, and we were still high flying. I mean, because we loved doing that kind of stuff, and we had the ability to do it. We was doing an AWA. But once we went over, like you were talking about the crossbody thing, that's all we needed there at AWA, right? And once we got over there with Big John Studd, the first day we walked in, back doors for TV tape, there goes Big John Studd. We knew he was big, but 6'9", and he just looks like a monster walking by, big. And the first five guys we saw, Hulk went by, and we knew he was big, but 6'6", and he's just muscled up, he walks by, and I'm looking at Sean like, that's the first two we seen in person. Like, cool, we get to see all these guys. Then finally Andre walks by. He's just a novelty. But it just happened to be the first one to see. Finally, a little guy went by, 6'4", King Kong Bundy. Weighs
Little guy?
400 pounds. He's as wide as he is tall.
But
I think remember
you two against Orient Express was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, they were so good to work with. Well, listen to this. So we then remember One Man Gang. And then he went as that African, Akeem the African tree. He's 6'6" and about 350. That was the first people we saw walking in.
I
And I looked at Sean and I said, but we don't belong here.
Yeah, you're little compared to that.
And two, the extras are there as TV taping, and we were, we didn't know to be there, get there real early if you want to get a locker room. You know how that works, where you got to go out and sit in the hallway and dress. And so we got, you try to, because of production girls. Okay, we're still brand new, scared to death because of all the big guys. And I'm looking because the building's around, right? So you don't see nobody. So you hurry and go to change. I pull my pants down. And I hear this, brother, do you mind? And I knew the voice, right? And I look at this macho man. He's got Elizabeth with him. He's waiting there. I'm like, God, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I told Sean, we got to go, bro. We can't stay here. But to the wrestling thing, it was like you said, the Road Warriors revolutionized it. I mean, because it was the big rock and sock 'em robots, punch kick. Well, we weren't going to be able to do that with the big guys. So,
but you guys
high
brought
flying
such a different dimension to WWE that had never been, that I don't remember seeing there.
True.
True.
And so, so we had to come up with more, and tandem stuff too, to do more stuff together because nobody was doing that there at all. And the high fly, and it was our only chance.
And you never won the belt, right?
What's that?
And you guys never.
They
never
did, but
We
did, but
somebody had me signing.
They did,
Today,
but-
they was like phantom world champions.
Yeah.
Because we did
You
win.
guys and Greg Valentine.
It was
you know,
even phantom
for a day or
champion.
two.
Guys, I
Right.
want to thank you. Marty Jannetty, thank you for taking
you.
your time. Val Venis, thank you. Eugene, thank
Hold on,
you.
hold on. I found a toy that I'm just fell in love with.
What you got there?
Everybody knows who
what
this
is that?
is.
I'm
Everybody
the
knows exactly who-
Mountie.
This is
Mountie, damn it.
And the Mountie always gets his what? His
Man!
What the hell? That's so
The question is,
I am the Mountie!
at what point in time does the Mountie realize it's a real man or not?
Uh-oh.
That's the question.
And are they sharing the same bathroom? But never mind.
You know what? I got to ask one more. I'm sorry. Now I got to ask one more question. Val, transgender wrestlers in pro wrestling.
Oh, here we go.
Thoughts?
Well, we got the Lanny Poffo, and I love Lanny, but
Wait a minute! Hey, watch me suck my own siphon! What the fuck?
Not like that, honey, like this.
Not like that. You're doing it wrong. Let me show you. Anyway.
and that's sad because he's gone. But we were boys.
I love Lanny.
Rest in- he was
Transgenders
good.
in wrestling, we got to look at wrestling for what it is. It's an entertainment product, and it
Correct.
has the ability to influence young minds, right?
Correct.
Transgenders in wrestling, absolutely, they should be oddities. That's where the money's at. But to put a transgender
Oh, they're on the way. You know, if
into
Vince
the
has got
women's
anything,
division,
he's-
as if, and just talk about them as if they're real women. That's conditioning young minds to accept. You got what's that girl's name?
Brittany
Riley?
or the
Nyla Rose?
No, not
What?
Which one? The swimmer that
The
lost
swimmer?
to.
Oh, I know you're talking
Leah
about. I can't remember
Thomas.
the 6'6".
Right.
Okay.
Riley, was it Riley Grimes?
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
Riley Grimes.
Right.
I mean, that's a real situation where she's the best swimming woman in the division, and yet she's getting destroyed by a guy that's pretending to be a man that was actually, what was he, 450th
Pretending to be a
best
woman,
in man. I mean, that's just not fair.
Holy
And
cannonball.
I was always
Even Kate
taught in
Jenner
wrestling.
said so. You know?
I was always taught in wrestling that to have the most chances of having your storyline get over, your storyline has to reflect something that's going on in real life.
Yeah.
Right?
Just play off
You have
society.
real women battling men trying to compete against them as women in real life.
That
Yet
gives me
we're
a-
going to take
that
Nyla
gives me
Rose
an
and just
idea.
talk about Nyla Rose like,
Right.
yo, you were just born a female. You're just going to wrestle with females. We're not going to offend anybody. When there's money there, why not reflect that real storyline in real life and have Nyla Rose come in as a beast?
Kill everybody.
Kill everybody. And even before that, have Cody go, whoa, listen, I understand your position, but you're a man. This is
Right.
a woman's division. Have Nyla take Cody to
Yes.
court.
Yeah.
Do the whole court thing. She wins in court. She gets to compete. There's nothing Cody can do to stop it. She goes blasting through all the females, and you work a storyline. You work that for
and
a
then
while.
next week, 2 girls at a time, 3 can make a monster.
Yeah.
And then Cody dumps him on his head at the end and pins
in
him, right?
legitimate competition,
Well, that's the
I
ending
feel
I
like
want.
someone that is more of a man than a woman should not be in a woman's event.
Well,
Right.
And
I
I,
mean,
don't know what the blockers and the hormones do to suppress that.
Right.
But in pro wrestling, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
But my whole
It's
point-
goddamn, it's goddamn phony baloney wrestling. We dress up in oil.
Phony
and goddamn
baloney
spandex
wrestling.
in our underwear with other men. We can't take this shit too seriously.
Hey man,
Oh my
I'm getting
God!
some
You know, every
good-
mark on the internet just
don't
blew
tell
up.
that to AEW
You
fans.
just blew up every mark on the
All
internet.
right.
Phony
Anyway,
baloney,
Pharaoh,
right?
send us out. Thank you guys so much. Always our honor to have you in this studio. Pharaoh.
You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh, and on behalf of Eugene,
Bye-bye.
Val Venis,
Jesus Christ.
Marty Jannetty,
Day and a
and
half.
Mr. Monty of Monty and the Pharaoh. Later.
The wolf, the wolf.